I like being alone, but I hate feeling alone. Sounds like the same thing, but it's not. One is a choice. The other is emptiness. And even though I treasure my peace, some days the silence feels heavy, not because everything is calm, but because no one noticed I disappeared. Being alone has always had a gentle side. There's something healing about not having to explain how you feel. Silence doesn't judge, doesn't rush you, doesn't expect anything back. It's just there, calm, steady, almost like a friend. Some days I find comfort in that quiet space that's just mine. It feels like shelter from the noise of the world, a place where I can simply exist without performing. Time slows down and my mind finally breathes. Being alone by itself has never been the issue. The problem begins when solitude turns into disconnection. When the silence isn't peaceful anymore, it's loud inside. Loneliness has different forms. Sometimes it arrives quietly, like a shadow at dusk, but other times it screams, even in complete silence. There's a cruel difference between enjoying your own company and feeling forgotten. The first is freedom. The second is a hole you try not to look into. I like being with myself, but not when everyone else is gone. And that contrast can be confusing. One minute, I'm sipping coffee alone, smiling, enjoying the moment. The next, a strange sadness creeps in, as if something's missing and I don't know what. It's like walking a beautiful path with no one to share it with. Some days, I go without talking to anyone. Not out of pride, there's just no one who reaches out. And deep down, I don't want to bother anyone either. Loneliness, when it's unwanted, doesn't always hurt fast. It settles in slowly, behind phrases like, "I'm fine," or "I like it this way." There's often someone waiting to be remembered, to be seen, to be wanted, even if they pretend not to care. Maybe that's what happens when you feel too deeply, when you carry an old kind of sadness in your chest, and you call it silence, when it's really just longing. What hurts the most isn't the lack of voices. It's the feeling that you've been forgotten, that your presence wouldn't be missed. You disappear and everything stays the same. Life goes on, just without you in it. That's not drama, that's reality. Sometimes I wonder, if I stopped replying to messages, who would notice? Maybe someone would miss me for a day, maybe just a few minutes. Then silence would take over again. And that hurts more than any argument, because fights means someone still cares. Indifference means the opposite. It eats away at you slowly. Even people who say, "I like being alone," are secretly hoping someone will say, "I missed you," not to boost their ego, but to soothe something deeper. On some days, the loneliness gets so sharp, I pretend to be busy just to avoid the quiet. I scroll through my phone with no purpose. I reread old messages, like flipping through an emotional photo album. Conversations with people who once cared, who used my name, who asked how I was, and meant it. Now those voices are gone. Just memories with no echo. And I catch myself trying to revive feelings that aren't there anymore. Not because I miss them, but because I need to feel something real. Silence, when it's not a choice, can weigh like stone. And even surrounded by technology, notifications, and distractions, what I miss most is human connection.
a touch, a glance, a simple, "I'm here." But the screen stays cold, and I keep pretending I'm fine.
Life changes, and so do our connections. Friends become memories. People you thought would always be there slowly fade. No big fight, no warning. Just time doing what it does, pulling everyone in different directions. One day you're laughing with someone. Next day, they're just part of your past. And you don't realize it's happening until you're alone, holding on to pieces of what used to be. True loneliness isn't just about being by yourself. It's remembering what you once had and knowing it's never coming back. You look back and see faces that will never return. And even though you understand it's part of life, it still hurts. Because melancholic hearts don't let go easily. They hold on, even when there's nothing left to hold. And that memory becomes a presence that haunts the quiet. People with a melancholic soul know. Sometimes the missing begins before the goodbye. It's strange to feel like you've vanished, even though you never left. You're still here, breathing, working, doing all the things you're supposed to. But no one really sees you. It's like living in ghost mode, smiling when you have to, responding just enough, all while carrying a hollow space no one notices. Even people close to you don't always see it, because this kind of pain is quiet, and the world rarely listens to what isn't said. You start adapting, taking up less space, lowering your voice, trying not to be a burden, until one day you start to believe this is just who you are. But it's not. You deserve to be seen, not for shouting louder, but simply for existing, with all your silence, your absence, and your hidden little cries for affection. I like being alone, but what I feel, it's not a choice. It's melancholy knocking at the door, uninvited. It's the weight of not being noticed, of realizing your presence doesn't make a difference. If any part of this felt like you, take a breath. Feeling this way isn't weakness, it's depth. And even if no one seems to see you, you're not as invisible as you think. Maybe this video is just a quiet reminder that your pain is valid, that your silence carries meaning, and that even in your stillness, there's something beautifully human about the way you feel. If this resonated with you, leave a like. Not for the algorithm, but so I know you're out there, feeling, existing, even if quietly. Share it with someone who might understand. It could be the comfort they need right now. And if you want to keep exploring your melancholic side, there's another video right here that might help you understand yourself even more. Watch it next. It might just make sense.